150 years ago, Jules Verne took you to a journey to the center of the earth with Professor Otto Lidenbrock and his nephew Alex. It was full of astonishing adventures, sprinkled with many moments of magical mysteries. Here, I wish to take you to a different journey to the center of the cataract, demystifying nucleotomies, which is no less thrilling. Author does not have any financial interest to disclose. Phacoemulsification, the modern concept of cataract management, is all about managing the central core of the cataract, that is the nucleus. Nucleotomy is the art of breaking down the nucleus into smaller pieces and then emulsify them. And it has so many beautifully descriptive, successful avenues, namely divide and conquer or 4-quadrant technique, stop and chop, direct chop, horizontal or vertical, and many others. Days of total white cataracts are vanishing. Timing of cataract intervention is changing. The demand to get back clear 20/20 vision is often increasing the urge to intervene very soft cataracts at a much earlier stage. On the other extreme of the swing, you still get those dark, hard brown sclerotic nuclei to tackle. A universal technique of nucleus management cannot be ideal for these extremes. When the road is smooth, the journey becomes uneventful. It is the extreme of the conditions that would really challenge your skill, patience, and technique. Try to walk in the mud or climb icy peaks without proper gear and planning and see how difficult they are. With standard techniques, you start struggling to manage both the very soft and the very hard cataracts. Options with the very soft nucleus may be a hydro or visco prolapse of the whole nucleus mass out of the bag and aspirate it. But every day is not going to be a sunny one. You try a stop and chop attempt. Sometimes you would succeed. Sometimes you end with a big residual irregular plate. Now comes the very risky part of holding on to one chunk and bringing it out of the bag. With every attempt, you chew on your heart. You win only if God is great. Let us think of something more predictable. A deep trench at the center of the nucleus. Use the cracker modeled on the Akahushi pre-chopper to crack the nucleus into two hemispheres. Do a hydrodissection on one side to prolapse the other half out of the bag. Use phaco to emulsify the prolapsed part. See the whole procedure once again. Even when point-to-point pressure cracking with two instruments in softer cataracts fail, the wide area of contact with the cracker blades predictably divide the nucleus into two halves. The cracker blade was tested in wet lab. The blunt posterior edge of its blades made it different and safe from Akahushi pre-chopper. Its width and maximum range of separation were well within safety limits without injuring the main wound. On the other extreme of the swing lies the big bad brown nucleus. You are attempting a direct chopping. Separation of the fragments may cause excessive force on the already weak genules. Suddenly, you can end up with a complication like posterior capsular rent. Your already tough surgery becomes more complicated. Try another way. Make a central debulking and then attempt direct vertical chops. Even then, producing cracks going across the whole posterior plate is unpredictable and may lead to genular damage. You can attempt a multi-level chopping by changing the hold on the nucleus. After first attempt, going to a slightly deeper level with the phaco probe and do a second chopping. But it definitely requires advanced skill. The problem with this very hard nuclei is the central thickness. Can we improvise something like this drilling probe, which interacts with the wall at 90 degrees and makes a very deep central hole? The phaco probe was given a unique 90 degree bend, which we called an L-tip. See the force needed to separate the fragments by chopping with a normal Kelman tip. Now use the innovative L-tip to create a deep central crater. Then change to normal phaco tip and initiate direct chopping. Cracking and separation of fragments can then be done easily with much less stress on the genuines. The L-tip was also tested in the wet lab. Tip lengths measured, outer and inner. Its safety level going into the core of the nucleus established. Let us see its practical application once again in a hard brunescent cataract. A deep central hole with the L-tip. Then go on dividing the nucleus merrily into as many pieces as you want. Journey is not always an adventure. Safety and predictability are also important. You can do it with a few simple innovative modifications. Thank you for your kind attention.